The offseason is officially here, and winter has started whispering its usual mix of pressure and optimism through the streets of Toronto. The World Series is done, the confetti has been swept away somewhere else, but let's be honest, for this fan base, the baseball conversation never really shuts off. While other cities are already hibernating, Toronto is wide awake, replaying innings in its head and refreshing rumors like it's a competitive sport. The first reassuring sound of the winter came early. Shane Bieber decided to stay. The ace had every reason to test free agency, but instead he chose to keep wearing Toronto blue. That decision alone sent a message louder than any press conference. This project still has believers, and the heartbeat of the rotation is alive and well. Now comes the real question. Who's joining him? Because the front office isn't wasting time admiring the snowflakes. They're already scanning the market, circling names, and quietly plotting moves that could change the entire direction of the next few seasons. There are 5 potential targets floating around that feel less like wishful thinking and more like bold statements. 5 players who match the team's philosophy of talent, durability, and hunger. 5 chances to turn almost into now. And yes, the idea of the Rogers Center shaking again like the old days isn't just nostalgia talking. This winter could decide whether that noise comes back for real. Let's start with Dylan Cease. Toronto's current situation could be described as calm on the surface, but restless underneath. The rotation showed flashes of dominance last season, but also moments that made fans stare at the TV in disbelief, asking questions they didn't want answered. Bieber staying helped steady the ship, Kevin Gausman remains a battle-tested warrior, and the younger arms are learning fast. Still, there's a feeling that one more intimidating presence is missing. Cease fits that profile perfectly. Even in a down year, his strikeout numbers remain ridiculous. 200-plus punch-outs don't just happen by accident. And durability matters. 5 straight seasons of heavy workloads is baseball gold. The idea of adding him without sacrificing prospects is tempting enough to keep fans awake at night. This is the kind of move that separates teams that hope from teams that commit. Then there's Zach Gallen, the calm before the storm. Where Cease brings fire, Gallen brings control. He's not about blowing hitters away with pure velocity. He wins with precision, intelligence, and an unshakable presence. His recent stat line might not impress casual box score watchers, but his track record tells a different story. Multiple elite seasons, Cy Young-level performances, and the ability to keep games close even when the offense is asleep. For a team that occasionally struggled to find rhythm at the plate, a pitcher like Gallen is priceless. He buys time. He stabilizes chaos. Sometimes what a contender needs isn't louder thunder, but a steady drumbeat. Framber Valdez brings something Toronto has lacked for too long, a dominant left-handed force. He changes the shape of a series just by existing. Lineups have to adjust, timing gets disrupted, and suddenly comfort disappears. Valdez isn't just effective, he's relentless. He goes deep into games, competes like every pitch owes him money, and carries a reputation as a clubhouse leader. Pairing him with Bieber and Gausman would give Toronto a rotation with variety, edge, and personality. That kind of balance doesn't just win games, it wins playoff series. Now let's talk bullpen stress, because if anxiety burned calories, this fan base would be in incredible shape. Late innings were far too adventurous last season. That's where Devin Williams enters the picture. Yes, his year had bumps, but when he's locked in, he turns the final outs into a no-fly zone. His late-season dominance reminded everyone why hitters hate facing him. Adding Williams would bring clarity to chaos. Suddenly, leads feel safer, starters can exhale, fans might even sit down instead of pacing during the 9th inning. Radical idea, right? Finally, there's the name that could reshape the entire lineup, Kyle Tucker. With uncertainty hanging over the offense, Toronto knows it can't afford to lose identity. Tucker offers power, patience, defense, and consistency. Even through injuries, his production remains strong. When healthy, he's quietly terrifying at the plate. He doesn't need theatrics, he just delivers. Plugging him into the lineup would instantly reduce pressure on everyone else and give this team a new offensive anchor. If bold moves are on the table, this is the boldest of them all.
Put it all together and the picture becomes clear. Bieber staying was step one. What comes next defines everything. Fire, control, balance, reliability, and offensive stability. This offseason isn't about patching holes, it's about choosing an identity. Here at 9 Innings Media, this is the kind of moment we live for. Toronto is done flirting with almost. Now it's time to decide whether this team is ready to believe loudly. Maybe, just maybe, 2026 is the year the noise isn't just hope, but celebration.